I mean, people are fascinated by it. Was that a real spider on your face? What's Joe Pesci really like? Did it hurt when you got hit in the face with the paint can?
Heads up!
What is it about that movie that's really just made it the ultimate holiday classic?
I think it's that the kid, I mean, there's so much heart in it. It's so funny. I think we're really funny, and Candy and all this stuff. I mean, and it's got a great holiday, Christmassy feel to it. But I think the thing that really stands out is the kid getting us. Everybody wants that kid to win. It's a kid empowerment movie. I was kind of in a groove at that point of doing crazy things. So when I showed up on the set to do the spider thing, I thought, all right, this is going to be, let's see what happens. And I'm sure they're going to have a great prop spider. But they didn't. They had a real spider that the Wrangler told me, he's not going to bite you. You'll be fine. So I went, okay, do it. So they put the spider on me and I let him crawl around on my face for about 5 minutes just so we both got used to each other. And then we just rolled the camera, and every time, he'd be over here and that's not in the shot, I'd kind of have to wait till he got to the right spot, and then I'd, do whatever the heck I do in it, scream, and I get to hit Joe Pesci with a crowbar, so that was fun too.
Marv, what are you doing? Marv.
I got to do everybody's fantasy, which is be in a cartoon. Everybody watches cartoons. I got to be in one with real props and real stuff and be a cartoon character inside that. So that's a once in a lifetime. And I think the kids love the power that kid has, and the parents love seeing the kid have that power. I just think that everybody's going to be okay kind of message is the right message at this time of the year. I mean, I think it's big friggin' laughs, and I had a blast, and Joe had a blast being as silly as possible, and John Hughes wrote a brilliant script, and Chris shot it, and the score, and everything comes together, and just the family laughing together. It could be just as simple as that.
Macaulay recently did a Q&A where he talked about Joe Pesci accidentally bit his finger in real life and scarred it.
I totally forgot about that. Yeah, I think Joe bit it like he was, he's wonderful. I love him. I mean, he's a dear friend, but he's a scary dude, and he was putting all that, he was carrying it all because we were trying in the first movie to try to actually be scary to start with, and then you realize we're idiots. But there was a fear factor that set up the drama of the thing. Yeah, I think he did bite it. He was biting his finger and then he bit it, and it was like, oh crap, I didn't really mean to. Joe was like, I'm sorry I did that. But only time you might see Pesci break, everybody had their own little thing we were doing. I was being my goofy guy. Joe was being the cartoon figure. He was a really fun comedy duo. And so we just had a blast.
Why did you decide the time was now to write this book about your life and career?
Yeah, because there was so much good stuff in my life. I've got the farms, and I've got my art, and I've got my wife. I didn't even intend to write them. I just made a list. And so I took a couple of those stories just for me and said, oh yeah, I said, I'm writing this for the grandkids and the great grandkids. If they ever see Home Alone, if Home Alone's still playing in 50 years when I'm gone, that's grandpa or that's great grandpa? I want them to know the story of my wife and I, how this happened. Because it's really our story. I've been married to her for 45 years. So it's fill in the chapter. And then I went, that could kind of be a book. So I wrote it, and then I sort of showed it to my agent, and then it was that could be a book. And how do I communicate it? So it kind of grew organically from that. And then, it was again, a beautiful artistic experience for me. I just spent that time writing, and I didn't have to have a studio tell me anything or get cast or audition. Just it's a piece of art itself. It's what it is. And actually, the capper for me was one of the things about the book was about my volunteer work with the Boys and Girls Club. And so all the money from the book goes to the Boys and Girls Club. It's like, I just wrote it. I want people to buy it. I think it's a good story. I think it's funny. And all the money goes to the Boys and Girls Club. So it ends up kind of a perfect little thing for me and a good stocking stuffer. Here's our tangerines. There's my bucket right there.
Why do you think people get so surprised when they see you this is really your element. So why do you think people get surprised when they see you in your element and, away from the big screen?
The social media thing is interesting in that it's much more intimate, much more me, and I can do silly things on it. The tangerines were here when I got here. I loved the piece of property, and we loved the house and like the whole thing. We've got pickers and growers, and we're job creators that way. It's wonderful to see it. We give a portion of it to food banks and stuff like that. So it's a wonderful life. And just for me personally, I need the solitude myself. I just need the solitude, and I've got it.
It's a matter of just putting a lot of tiny little pieces like that all over the dress. I'm going to be doing this for about 4 days.
And I love creating. And they talk about creators on social media, and that makes sense to me. I created a book. I create a sculpture. I create a character. I create a script. Making stuff out of nothing. That's what humans can do. And it's so fun on the social media thing to watch all these creators. They got a story to tell. Another story. I never thought of that. I never thought I could, do that, or somebody could do that and that and that and that. And so, I'm just going to play my part in those things. I'm going to, stay healthy, teach my grandkids everything I know, give back, and that's what I love about the season also. This is the time. My son said, "Dad, you're like a seasonal superstar." It comes around every year, and it's like, and the message is, so if it's my turn, giving back, give. This is the season of giving, and give your love, and give gifts, and give to people, and that's what I love about this time. And if I'm a little part of people's holiday time, I'm honored and humbled.